Hey guys, Mr. T here doing a video to help you out with the formative test. I figured I'd show you how quickly you should be able to work through these questions. This covers the linear function section of the real test basically, and is going to be the largest section of the real test coming up. So first question, number 1, for each table of values decide whether x and y are linearly related. So something is linear when the two variables are going up constant amounts. So you can see here that's going up +1 each time. Whereas here, that's +7 jump, +7. So it's looking like it's going to be linear, +7. But that last jump is +9. So I'm going to make my pen a bit thicker. Not linear. This one is not linear, because it's not going up a constant the whole way through. This, obviously, +1 the whole way through. And here, 29, so it's -4 this time, -4 again, -4, and it's -4. So it's constant the whole time, so linear for that one. Number 2. Merchant plumber card charges a call out fee of $40, then adds $30 per hour of service. Complete a table comparing time T hours up to including the 6th hour of service with total cost C dollars. So time T hours. So a table of values has 2 lines, the top and the bottom for the 2 variables, cost, and you have to label them correctly according to the question. C dollars. So we're going to have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have to include the 0 because he's charging a call out fee. So he's going to charge for you not even spending any time with him. So cost of $40 and $30 per hour. So 70, 100, 130, 160, 190, and 220. Just adding the 30 each time. Draw the graph of C against T. Remember to include the axis titles. Alright, so x-axis, y-axis. What's the independent variable here? What's the variable that's changed on purpose, or the variable that's changing another? Well, the cost changes depending on how long the plumber's been there. So the independent variable is going to be time, and the independent variable is always on the x-axis. So the dependent variable is going to be at the top, cost, which is in dollars. So now you need to think in your head what scale you could use to fit all this in. We only need 0 to 6 along the bottom, so that could go up by 1 every 2 squares, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so 7 would be at the end there. We don't need 7. Now you need to work out how you're going to fit over 200 on the side here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You got 14 boxes there. The closest round number within that is 10. So if you made it go up by 20 each time, you'd definitely be able to fit 220 there. So here you'd have 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, 220. So we've met the height we need to go. Then just continue at 260 up to the top there. So now complete the graph at time 0. It's at a cost of 40. So a dot there. At time 1, it's at 70, so it's between 60 and 80, halfway there. Not going to be the most accurate because this pencil is not the best, but we'll manage. At 2 hours, it's 100. At 3, it's 130. At 4, it's 160. At 5, it's 190. At 6, it's 220. Alright, so how am I going to draw a straight line here? see how this works. No, that's not going to work. I'm just going to draw a line straight through here with no ruler and the slippery screen. So obviously in the test you're going to be expected to draw it for real, okay, but that's going to kind of have to do for this. So that's the graph. Find the cost of a job which takes 4.5 hours. So you could either use the you could use the graph here if it's drawn accurately, but we haven't established that. It's not a straight line. So what you can do is 4 hours is 160, 5 hours is 190, so that's $30 an hour. Therefore, half hour equals $15. So 4.5 hours would be 4.5 hours would be 4 hours worth, 160, plus 15, which would be 175. Therefore, $175 for 4.5 hour job. Okay, so that's first question down, I think. Go to the next page. No, that was second question down. Third question, consider the value in the tables below. Draw a graph of y against x. So x-axis is always the horizontal, y-axis is always the vertical. Put arrows there. So I need to work out a scale that would fit this. I only need 20 along the bottom, so I think if I look at this carefully, that'll fit along the bottom. Is 1 to 1. 5, 10, 15. Yep, it'll fit. Plenty of room. And then I need to fit up to 20 along the side. That doesn't look like too many boxes up and down, so we're going to have to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28. So it's a bit high, but it's going to fit our graph just fine. So draw a graph of y against x. Y is 20 when x is 0. First point there. Y is 18 when x is 5. Y is 16 when x is 10. Y is 14 when x is 15. And y is 12 when x is 20. This is going to be harder to draw a straight line, so forgive me, it's not quite straight. I'll do my best here. You would be expected to draw it with a ruler in the actual test, okay? What feature of the graph indicates that x and y are linearly related? They lie on a straight line. Duh. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. They're linear because they're on a straight line. Find the gradient and the y-intercept of the graph. So gradient, I've given you that formula, y to take y1 over x to take x1. So you could choose any of these points in the table above. I'm going to go the extreme, so I'm going to go this point here. That's going to be my second point, and this is going to be my first point there. So the y of the second point is going to be 12, and the y of the first point is going to be 20. Take the x of the second point, which is 20, take the x of the first point, which is 0. 12 take 20 is minus 8. 20 take 0 is 20. That's going to be, cancel it down to negative 2 over 5. Divide both by 4. So the gradient is negative 2 over 5. Y-intercept. You just look at that on the graph. or where x is equal to 0. That's from there. Or you look at the graph where x is equal to 0, y is equal to 20. So that's the y-intercept. So that's question 3 down. Question 4. The amount of water A left in the leaky barrel after t minutes is shown in the graph below. Find the gradient and A-intercept of the line. Interpret your answers. So gradient again equals y2 take y1 over x2 take x1. Now this is a bit tricky because we don't have no table of values, so no table of values. So you would prefer a table of values because, like last time, in the last question, you had exact points. You knew that these points existed, whereas here we don't know if the graph may not be drawn accurately or whatever, or you might not have any points that go through particular grid lines that are whole numbers. But luckily we do. If you have any question like this, you have to look for real grid line crossing. See how it crosses exactly over vertical and horizontal lines there. See, this one is not. It's going halfway through. This one, we're not sure if that's a quarter or an eighth or whatever. So the only other exact one is here. It goes exactly through a point. So you need to decide which point you'll use for your equation. You should always use the y-intercept as a point as well. So that's going to be my P1 here. First point, and I'm going to use this second one here that goes through a proper intersection as my P2. So the y coordinate of the second point is 120, and the y coordinate of the first point is 160, x coordinate of the second point is 8, x coordinate of the first point is 0, so that's going to be 120 take 160 is negative 40, sorry. Negative 40 over 8 take 0 is 8. And there's 5 8s in 40, so it's going to be negative 5 over 1. And so negative 5. And then A-intercept, or well, the Y-intercept, but here we're talking A liters, so it's going to be A-intercept is 160, because that is where it crosses the Y-axis. Find the equation connecting A and T. Well, we know that the equation of a line can be expressed as y is equal to mx plus c. That's the gradient is m. That's the y-intercept. So here, because y is actually A liters, the equation is going to look like negative 5 times by the time in minutes plus 160. I'm just going to ask them to turn the TV down. Can you turn the TV down? I'm recording. Sorry about that. Now we're going to use that formula of that equation to work out how much water is left after 15 minutes. So you could go A for 15 is equal to negative 5 15 minutes plus 160. 5 times by 15 is 75, but it's going to be negative because it's a negative times a positive number. Negative 75 plus 160. Negative 75 plus 160 is equal to 85. So therefore, 85 litres after 15 minutes. How long will it take before there are only 50 litres of water left? So here it's asking you to find the amount of water left, not the amount of time, not the amount of, sorry, I got that messed up. Here it's asking you to find the time, so how long will it take for a given amount of water left, whereas in this question C, it was asking you how much water is there after a particular time. So here, where after 50 is equal to -5 times by the time plus 160. So we know the capacity. To balance, you need to do the same on both sides. So 50. And so I want to get rid of this plus 160 on the right side so I can get closer to t by itself. What's the opposite of adding 160? Taking 160. -5t plus 160, and this is what I did on this side to get rid of it. So that's to balance it out. So go over here. 50 take 160 is going to be -110 is equal to -5t plus 160 take 160 is going to be 0. Alright, so t is now going to be -110 divided by -5, because the opposite of timesing something by -5 is dividing by -5. -110 divided by -5. T is going to be 22 minutes. So that's how long. Therefore, 22 mins till 50 litres left. Till the barrel is empty. So the capacity, the amount of water in an empty barrel is going to be 0, -5t plus 160. So just like before, you need to take 160 from both sides. So 0 take 160 is going to be -160 equal to -5t. T is going to be -160 over -5. So t is going to be 32. Therefore, 32 mins till barrel empty. Alright, that's question 4 down. Next one. Question 5. Jordan's lawnmower cuts grass at a height of 17 millimeters. The grass grows 3 millimeters each day. Make a table of values for the height after it's cut. So table of values, 2 lines again. Top and bottom. We need days of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Label them correctly. So days, D, height in millimeters. So we're told that the lawnmower cuts grass at a height of 17. So when it's been cut on the day 0, the grass is going to be at 17 mils. It grows 3 mils each day. So one day after being cut to 17, it's going to grow 3 mils. So it's going to go up to 20. After 2 days, it's going to be 23, 26, and 29 millimeters. So there's our table of values done. We can draw a graph of that. So we need to work out what the independent and dependent variables are. We're not running the experiment, so we're not changing anything on purpose. So to work out what the independent variable is, you need to think of which variable causes the other to change. Does the height cause the number of days to change? No. The number of days that the grass is left is causing the height to change. So the days is the independent variable, goes on the x-axis, and the dependent variable is the height in centimeters, because that's the thing that changes depending on how many days you have left it. So 0, starting there. I only need to fit 4 along the bottom, so I can spread that out really well. 1, 2, 3, 4. One number for every 4. And then along the y-axis, I need to get up to at least 30. What do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And that's about 15. What's double of 15? 30. So obviously we're going to have to go to, for each box, 2, 4, 6, 8. The greatest 8 ever made. 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. Alright. So now we can plot the points. At 0 days, the grass was at 17, so halfway between 18 and 16. On day 1, after mowing, it was at 20. On day 2, after mowing, it was at 23. Day 3 after mowing was 26. Day 4 after mowing, it was at 29. So, not going to be the straightest line, but you can deal with that. It is an Apple Pencil, it's not perfect, and I can't draw straight lines in this app because, I don't know, he doesn't know how. That's pretty good. So that's that. Determine the equation of the linear function connecting H and D. So thankfully we have an actual table of values, so we can use 2 points, point 1, point 2. So I'm going to do this up here because it's more space. Gradient is y2 take y1 over x2 take x1. So the y coordinate of my second point is 29. The y coordinate of the first point is 17. X coordinate of the second point is 4. X coordinate of the first point is 0. So 29 take 17 is 12. 4 take 0 is 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3. That's the gradient. Y-intercept is going to be, well, you can see it from here. The y-intercept is where x is equal to 0, or where it crosses the y-axis, so that's going to be at 17. So the equation connecting the height and the number of days, height is equal to 3, which is the gradient, times by the number of days, plus 17, which is the y-intercept. So that's question 5 down. Find the height of the lawn after 12 days. So I need to rewrite that equation. Height is equal to 3 times by the number of days plus 17. We want to know what the height is going to be after 12 days. So the height for 12 days is going to be 3 times by 12 plus 17. 36 plus 17. 36 plus 17. Count my fingers. 36, 37, 39, 44, 42, 43, 53 millimeters. Hopefully that's right. Question 6. Draw the graph of y is equal to negative a quarter x plus 4. So now we need to use the other use of that gradient, which is gradient is equal to the y step over the x step. And because your gradient is negative a quarter, that means 4 steps across, and because it's negative, 1 step down. If it was positive, it would go 1 step up. And then we also know that the y-intercept is that y-int is equal to 4. So now we need to draw a Cartesian plane. Hopefully I've chosen the middle here. It's the squiggliest line ever made. Another one across. This will be worse, I reckon. Oh, not too bad. Sorry about the sniffles, I'm sick. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, 5, negative 6, negative 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So hopefully we can fit that on this graph. Yes, y-intercept of 4, it's there. And then based on the gradient, you go 4 steps across, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 step down. So that's going to be the second point. So then your line is going to go across 4 and 1 down each time. Across 4, down cross 4. Okay, so I'm going to try and draw a straight line again. It's like a snake. So a line goes infinitely in either direction. Draw arrowheads there. And also, always draw the equation of the line that you drew to label it. So that's a graph of negative a quarter x plus 4. Question 6 down. Question 7, 3x plus 2y is equal to 12. So this is in general form. So, as I taught my class, you can convert between if you like the other form. But the easiest way to use general form is the y-intercept. Y-int is y when x is equal to 0. So whatever y is when x is equal to 0 is going to be the y-intercept. So you just need to make x equals 0 in this formula. 3, make x 0, plus 2y is equal to 12. 3 times by 0 is 0, so all you've got left is 2y is equal to 12. Opposite of timesing something by 2 is dividing by 2. So divide both sides by 2, you'll get 6. The x-intercept is x when y is equal to 0. So this time, we don't know what x is, but you make y equals 0. 3x, 2 times by 0 is 0, so all you've got left is 3x is equal to 12. Opposite of timesing something by 3 is dividing it by 3, so divide both sides by 3, 12 divided by 3 is 4. So we know the y-intercept is y is equal to 6, we know the x-intercept is x is equal to 4, so you have enough information to draw the line. Draw the Cartesian plane here. Just like the last question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. Negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the y-intercept of this line is going to be at y is equal to 6. The x-intercept is going to be when x is equal to 4. So you have 2 points now. You can draw a line through them. So I'm going to just give myself a couple more guidelines to help me draw the line in the bottom quadrant. So it goes across 2 and down 3. Across 2, down 3. Across 2, down 3. Across 2, down 3. Let me draw a line through that. Not going to be the best, no ruler for this. You would have to do a ruler in the test. But that is that. And then label a line with the equation that you drew, which was 3x plus 2y is equal to 12. So I believe that's all the questions. That's your formative test done. That's about as long as the line section of the actual test is going to be, so hopefully this is very helpful to you. There's not even a couple of questions on exponential functions in the real thing, so this should really have you covered for passing and actually getting like a B or something. Hopefully the video helps you out. That's Mr. T, and I'll see you guys in the next video.